Welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Force podcast. Oh, I was almost going to say a Puerto Rican podcast, but it's a Puerto Rican Plus podcast, a podcast from friends coming
Yeah.
together to talk about Star Wars and other nerd-related media. And with me today, once again, is our brand new spanking co-host, Chase Hauser. How's it going, Chase? Welcome back to another episode of Triad with you as an official
Thank you.
co-host. How
Hey,
does it feel to be
it
a
feels
regular
good.
now?
It feels better to be, I mean, I shouldn't say better, but it feels great to be with you and not have the pressure of talking to the Sir Michael Wilkinson. Yeah, so it's nice, and
He
I'm
did love you.
happy
He did love you. And the
I love
people,
him.
the people ached for you. The
Hey, that was,
response was beautiful.
I really appreciate it.
It's great.
I do.
The legions of fans are there. And I don't know if you saw, but you're neck and neck with that Tony Gilroy interview. You on your own,
really?
you on your own with Michael Wilkinson
Woo!
are battling it out with Tony Gilroy and the rest of us podcasting losers. So kudos
Hell
to you
yeah.
on a
Hey.
on a fiery debut.
That's all, Michael, but thank you. I'm excited to be here today too because we're talking about other nerd-related media.
Yes,
Hence
finally,
my glitchy, fabulous background.
after a while of Nani and I, and Nani will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, you know, so all these scheduling things, and you know, we'll get the triad eventually. But you know, we're three adults working busy lives, all the things, you know. So it's hard. So it's hard to get two of us together. It's harder to get three, but it'll happen. Don't worry. But after a while, Shay and I have been talking about other things for a while. Besides the wars, it's serendipitous that we're finally talking about something different from Star Wars today with you. But while different from Star Wars, it's still very Star Wars adjacent because you know we have the director of Rogue One come back to direct this movie. We have ILM, the Titan visual effects company that did all the effects for Star Wars, do the effects for this film. And we have, and this is something that I know you were very, very aware of, but we have the Grand Inquisitor himself from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, Rupert Friend himself, as unnamed corporate guy number one.
Yeah. Only one of one, surprisingly. There was no hierarchy. Because there's a lot of times in Jurassic Park, well, a couple of times, they really they have the baddies, and then they have the bigger baddies that are instructing the little baddies. So, but he was the one of one, fully, you know, he's gonna die. You're just waiting for a win.
Yeah, here to you know, show us more as they say in the synopsis for this film, transgenetic mutated dinosaurs. Because now it's not enough to be dinosaurs. Now they have to be woke. We got to make them trans. We got to mutate them. These are X-Men dinosaurs. They're trans dinos.
Yeah.
And we love them because we're woke and we are lefty radicals. And this is amazing. That's all you had to say. If they had just called Jurassic Trans Dino, I would
Jurassic Park Trans World.
Trans Rebirth. Trans Park.
Trans Park.
Well, it is Rebirth, Reborn. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody.
Right.
But this is great. So for those of you who have been listening to us ramble now for a couple of minutes, we are talking about the new Jurassic Park movie. And I know we're just talking about trans rights now, but I refuse to call this movie Jurassic World. It's like, why? It's Jurassic Park. Why are we doing this Jurassic World
I think it's because that recent trilogy wrapped up so recently. I don't think they could get away with, unless they called it if it was Jurassic Park, then Jurassic World, and this is called Jurassic Planet or Jurassic Earth or Jurassic
then Cretaceous Park
or Jurassic Equator. Jurassic Equator.
It does talk about the equator a lot.
Quite a lot of talk about the equator.
Since I don't know, 2012, that movie about the end of the world or one of these global warming films, I haven't heard a film talk about the equator
as much. Yeah.
So hey, kudos to me, I guess, because you know, Puerto Rico, close to the equator. So
absolutely.
Basically, this movie's about me.
Yeah, you'll get all the dinos.
I don't.
I'll take the trans part.
This is why this is going to be a very successful podcast. So this is, I mean, this is a blockbuster summer. You know, there's a lot of movies that are coming out. This one was one of those that I was very excited for. We have Superman that just came out at the time of us releasing this episode, and unfortunately, for reasons that we might discuss in the future, we can't see it this weekend, or maybe we will. But
We'll
it'll be a minute before we see that movie. But that's one that I'm very excited for, and the reviews for that seem good.
Yeah,
I've
heard great
unlike
things.
the ones for Rebirth, which were very surprising because I felt the movie was, well, there's one of the reviews, and I want to hear your opinion on this before we dive into the movie proper. One of the reviews that I read was just like the worst Jurassic Park movie yet.
Oh, that's simply not true.
It's one of those things where they keep saying that about each subsequent Jurassic Park movie.
Right.
So I saw that and I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm gonna still keep an open mind to see it, but this is not, this is not looking good. Not looking good.
Yeah.
And when I went into that movie theater, I was thinking about my relationship with Jurassic Park, and for the most part, a positive one,
Yeah.
I remember when I was growing up, I saw the first Jurassic Park. I don't remember if I saw it in movie theaters. I don't remember that. But I do remember having that VHS at home, the black VHS with the red Jurassic Park logo, that classic movie poster that they haven't even bothered to change because it's perfect. How do you change it? It's perfect. And I would just watch that movie ad infinitum. So I loved that Jurassic Park film.
Yeah.
Until my sister was dating some guy in her senior year of high school, and he asked me if he could borrow the VHS. And nice Catholic boy, I'm just like, well, sure. What choice do I have?
Sharing is caring.
And we shared the Jurassic Park VHS, and this is why you don't share, kids. Sharing is not caring.
What happened to it?
They broke up. I've never seen that VHS ever again.
No way. I thought you were going to say he broke it.
No,
and I can't tell
he might have. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's
in
probably
fact, let's say that he broke it after they broke up and never returned it.
He came over to your house, knocked on the door, made sure you answered it, and then threw it on the ground right in front of you and stepped on it. And it's not nice.
He's like, I don't like your trans dinosaurs. Bam! Hey, well, my sister's happily married now to a different person, so
thank God.
So there we are. So what's your relationship with the dino films?
My relationship to them is like, I remember watching it as a kid and it was very scary. I just remember watching it I remember watching it on TV when it was on, I don't know what channel would have been playing it, probably like TNT, like some random channel.
One of those, or USA or something. Yeah.
Yes, actually, yes. And it was on my my parents' bedroom, and in my parents' bedroom, and I was sitting on the bed, and I just remember being like, I shouldn't be watching this. It was very scary, which I want to say, actually, I know we're waiting to get fully into the movie, but what I liked about this movie was it really kind of felt very much like a horror movie in a lot of ways. The music felt very horror-y. There were a lot of it just felt like a monster movie, like in a good way, in a way that I was like, yeah, remember, these are scary movies. So I liked that. And yeah, that's my relationship to Jurassic Park. I didn't really start watching them. I think I watched them all for the first time, together, and in a significant way during the pandemic. I sat down, I watched all of them, and Jurassic Park 2, I love, which you don't, and that's okay.
That's crazy. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember because the first time I saw it, I was too young to be, to really dig into it and be like, well, I'm actually. But I remember in one of those times that I rewatched it, and this was years ago, I was just like, nah, man, it's just no.
If this movie was good to you or fine or good, Jurassic Park 2 is great.
I have to revisit. But I will say, Jurassic Park 3, underrated. People like to dog on that movie because of the whole Velociraptor Alan. But but are there worse movies out in the world? Yes. Absolutely. Does the movie have awesome dino sequences? Absolutely. Like the whole, I don't know if I'm not a paleontologist, so I apologize for this. I don't know if this is what the flying dinosaurs called, but when that pterodactyl, I think it is, in the cage sequence and everything, and they're on the bridge, and it's like that awesome.
Yeah. riveting stuff.
So still better than Fallen Kingdom and better than Dominion.
Dominion is the third of the Jurassic World trilogy.
Yes. The one with exactly
with Alan Grant. I remember it being like, I remember it being fine, serviceable, perfectly serviceable.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't really remember it. But have you ever been to any of you're not a theme park person?
No. And
it's
you know what? I'm not a theme park person.
Okay.
Is that I just haven't been able to go to theme parks in a minute. Last time I went to a theme park was when Anaheim, Celebration Anaheim.
Yeah.
That we went to Disneyland. We went to Disneyland and exclusively went to go to Galaxy's Edge,
of course,
for Star Wars night, and that was incredible. And before that, I hadn't been to a theme park in 20 years.
I gotta say,
I've heard they're better now.
They're great,
especially at Universal.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say. My other relationship to Jurassic Park is very much through theme parks because I grew up going to Universal Studios in LA, and they have a whole Jurassic Park, really great ride, and like fun little like dinosaur meet and greets where it's actually like kind of really great puppet work. Anyway, I think one of the voids I'm gonna fill in Triad is being the theme park.
Well, that's great
because you need that.
We need a correspondent.
I think I'm your theme park correspondent for sure.
I'm not gonna say no.
Beautiful.
Next time you go and you want to shoot a vlog and
I should
upload it. I'm not. I ain't stopping you.
That would be so fun. Okay, great. Glad we're decided on that.
Yeah. So so we've been going around the circus a little bit, talking about like all these, kind of doing a preamble, right, about our relationship with Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, a little bit of what we liked, a little bit of what we liked a little bit less. But we're here to talk about Rebirth, the trans dinos. And like I said, some reviews saying worst Jurassic Park film in the franchise, because I don't really call it a saga, because all these movies.
No,
whatever.
We can't dignify it with. I love Jurassic Park, but we cannot dignify it with saga.
They're no Fast and the Furious saga,
No, or Star Wars.
Honestly, I could see that crossover with Jurassic Park and Fast and the Furious, but I digress. But the people saying that Rebirth, worst of the saga, or that it's a bad movie, I don't know. Maybe we were watching completely different movies, because I really liked Rebirth. Like, I thought it was an extremely good. Okay, I'm gonna take that back.
Wait, I also want you to tell me, like, I want you to like set up what the vibe was as you watched it. Like, what type of theater, what type of screen, who did you go with? Did you go on the 4th of July like I did in our friend Alex?
I did. What a coinkydink. A couple of us unplanned and in different locales went to go see Jurassic World Rebirth. On the 4th of July, we weren't feeling too,
patriotic,
proud of the, of the country these days. Sorry. Sound off in the comments below. So we were like, hey, maybe we'll just watch a movie. And what perfect movie, then for the 4th of July in this state of America, than a movie about the hubris of corporations bringing back horrible man-made disasters to tear through the world. And I'm just like, oh, I'm seeing this in the news all the time. But anyway, went with my lovely partner. She and I decided to trek up to the suburbs.
To the
suburbs to go to the Dolby Cinema, because I felt, I like to diversify the palette of theaters that I go see films at. There's some classic films that you go here in Chicago to see at the Music Box, because that's a flavor of cinema that you don't get, in these modern ones. There's other ones that like are just fun popcorn films that you go at our Alamo Theater. But then there are other ones that are. But then there are others that are kind of more spectacle films that you kind of want that, Dolby projection with the Dolby Atmos. And Superman is one of those. Obviously, Star Wars films are those. Mission Impossible are those. And I felt that Jurassic World Rebirth was one of those. So we went to Village Crossing and saw Jurassic World Rebirth in Dolby. and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. What well, you just said Alamo.
Was your crowd reactive or no?
No, and I'm glad for that. I'm glad for that. We did have a little.
You prefer quiet
I
crowd.
prefer quiet. It's just like this ain't your living room unless it's a very funny scene or a very terrifying scene. You just shut your mouth and watch the movie.
Yeah.
The movie did go out. Like we were maybe 10 minutes in. We were 10 minutes in, and all of a sudden the screen froze, sound cut off, and lights go on, and we're like, "What is this?"
Yeah, it's an immersive storytelling experience.
That's the most anxious I was during the film, between that moment and when the family is in the water.
Oh my God.
Those were the anxiety levels on those were pretty high.
Yup.
How was Alamo? Were the people, because Alamo, you're not allowed to be rowdy.
Yeah, Alamo. I was like, Blake and I had my partner. We definitely I had a few beers before we took our Uber down there. And we were running late. We were gonna walk, but it was it's a long walk and we were very late. So we Ubered. And anyway, I was very reactive. I'm someone who, like, when I'm watching a movie like this, I'm like, oh my God. Like I do that and I can't help it.
Okay,
it's what I do.
Okay. Sometimes you know.
I know when I'm not allowed to do that. But Jurassic Park, it's like, come on, guys. The whole point is that we're all here like buying into this whole thing and like getting scared when you find out that T-Rex can swim.
T-Rex can swim.
When the T-Rex started swimming, I literally was like, I was so gagged. That was like a highlight of the movie. Anyway, I don't know. Blake and I went and saw it. We're a movie on 4th of July type of family now. And I was very excited to see it. I was very like I like Jurassic Park movies enough to just enjoy a Jurassic Park movie, even the bad ones. Even the bad ones,
what you're
I'm
getting,
enjoy
right?
it. Yeah, exactly.
It's not everything is supposed to be high art, and you get what you want from it. And it's one of these movies where it's just you're going there to see some dino carnage. And this film delivered, and I think in spades.
Yeah, to me, the most like the two quintessential Jurassic Park things that are important to me are, one, like this sort of like eco-political commentary, and next to that is like the suspense sequences. Like, how are those done? I don't really care about anything else. And I just saw so many reviews that were just like talking about, oh, like this character and this character and this character and this character. And I'm like, I love a good character. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not watching for the characters. I'm watching to see people get their shit rocked by dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And I'm watching for, like, sometimes hitting you over the head, obvious political messages, or like,
or ambiguous,
or eco,
ambiguous.
or maybe
ScarJo. Come on.
Yeah, we'll
get to that.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's all I care about. I care about those two things.
Well, I mean, I will say that I agree with you for the most part, but I have to agree with some of the criticisms of the film, especially when it comes to characters, right? Because it's not as if we're comparing Rebirth to any other crappy, sci-fi dinosaur or shark film. There's a high caliber of Jurassic Park movie to live up to, and obviously that's the first Jurassic Park where all the characters are fully fleshed out, and they have their their arcs and relationships, and they go through a journey throughout the whole film. And I think that it is a fair comparison, right? Because we've eaten very well.
Yeah.
This is not just we're not just going to Popeyes, right? When we go to watch this movie, we're going to
Panda Express.
We've been Panda Express. I was gonna say Gene and Giorgetti's or something.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very nice steak restaurant here in Chicago. But ScarJo, I love you. You're a character. Weak. All the okay. Let's do a blanket statement because it deserves it. All the characters were weak here. I don't remember any single name. I don't know.
Definitely not that.
What? Like, I only know that she wanted to get the thing so she can get out of town. He wanted he already had his little glasses. Which, by the way, I had them first. But and he got it, even though he did that 180 all of a sudden, being like, actually, let's use it against the corporation. And I was like, we didn't see this before. Like, we're
right.
Then we
right.
got the, and I know we're gonna get argumentative on this one, but then we have plot B with the dumb family.
I will say that I do kind of have to agree with the dumb part, because them like going on a like just like a little boat when they live along the equator, I just didn't. And then they were like, what is that in the water? I'm like, guys,
it's like, come on.
It is not
Dinosaurs have been
dinosaurs
on
are
Earth for a
only in
while.
your area. Like, you guys there's no way you didn't know this. But outside of that, but keep going. You think I agree that they're dumb in that way.
They're dumb, and I think that their relationship to the plot was bizarre, because I think if it was a movie about them, it makes sense. If it's a movie about ScarJo and slutty glasses, it makes sense. But putting them together, I'm just like, oh, so you didn't have enough. It felt to me, as someone who liked the movie. Let's put that out of the way. As someone who liked the movie, it still felt to me like, oh, we don't have enough plot for one movie with this story, or enough movie with plot for this other one. So let's just mash them together and then see what happens. And it feels like that. It's just like, okay, plot A, plot B, mix them, separate them, bring them back, and then that's it. There's no relationship between anybody. They did that forced thing with the Grand Inquisitor and the teenage girl and everything. They had to introduce an annoying Gen Z boy, but you know, on the whole, in terms of what I wanted to see, which was Dino Carnage back in an island with gritty cinematography and hyper, because one thing that I really like from Gareth Edwards that we saw in his Godzilla movie, we saw it on The Creator, and we saw it, and obviously Rogue One is mastery of visual effects and making them feel very grounded and tactile. And we definitely got that. Like, this is the best the dinosaurs have looked since the original Jurassic Park. That I keep going back to that T-Rex sequence in the river. That was terrifying sequence, amazing,
so good,
so well done. But characters, sure, okay, cool.
I do think I think that it would have the story would have benefited from the family having one or two less family members. Like, I would have honestly loved it if it was just the dad and the young girl. Like, young girl. I think that would have been better and just sort of like easier to digest, because it is hard to ask an audience to like connect with that many characters all at the same time. But I do think, like, we've talked about it before a little bit, but like, I think that like narratively, I like the family because I think it shows just sort of like regular Joe Schmo people next to very well off people. I mean, even Jonathan Bailey's character, it's like he's clearly an academic and has privilege in sort of his job and also his education. And ScarJo has privilege in terms of her, I don't know, whatever shady work she's done for the government in the past, and like
she's basically Black Widow, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then this guy who's just sort of like a suit, he's has privilege. And so I just like, and I hate the word privilege, honestly, because it's more than that. But I just mean there's sort of the elite people in different fields and the ordinary people and the regular people, and how the decisions of the elite sort of affect the people. Like, from the very beginning of the intro to the family, like once they send out the direct distress call, they're debating if they're even going to go save them. Do you know what I mean? And like, I think that speaks volumes. And I think if this movie committed a little bit more to the politics that it like got its feet wet in, if it committed more to the politics, I think that sort of juxtaposition or pairing of characters and foils for the two groups would have read more effectively.
I mean, when you put it that way, I like it, but it
didn't do it. Yeah.
But it's there's subtext, and then there's there's the pit of the earth where we put that subtext in, and I have to commend you for diving. You went there, you went like Tom Cruise, and you held your breath for 30 minutes to get it. You got it, and you swam back up, and I love it. It's beautiful because you're absolutely right. But I
Too
think
generous.
it becomes it. I think in my mind it just becomes weaker when you separate them, because then they have no
Mm.
moments for them to relate to each other and kind of
Yeah.
see those moments of conflict occur. Because even ScarJo and Slutty Glasses, I'm sorry, I can't remember anyone's names. I'm gonna call
Jonathan Bailey, but you can call
Jonathan
him Slutty
Bailey.
Glass. I think he would appreciate that nickname.
Instagram ruined it for me.
Oh,
That's
really?
what I mean. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's Slutty Glasses," and I was like, "Okay, well, that's
Oh,
his name now."
yeah.
But they're quote unquote interested in saving them, but it's just like, but let's finish our main quest first.
Right, right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's one of those things where I think it might have played off better if they're conflicted about maybe doing their main quest, because they have to do the side quest of rescuing the family, and there's some interaction between them, and we get to see some of those dynamics occur. But it's
Mhm.
so it's so binary in
Yeah.
that sense, where it's just like, we're doing this, you're doing that, then we meet, and then we have the forced conflict, which is, it felt to me like the way that they tied them narratively is just like, okay, let's put the Grand Inquisitor not saving her, so that she has that grudge against him, so that it comes back
I
at the end.
love that scene
To
though. Like I would
No, no,
never
it's
write it
good.
off as just that because I was gagged. I
I'm not
love
saying
that.
I'm not saying it's bad, because it
Okay.
does work. I'm just saying that for me, it doesn't feel honest, in the sense that it's the organic way in
I get
which
what you're
the
saying.
film occurred. I think it was
Yeah.
an elegant way to tie it together, but it was definitely like two poles in the movie of when
Mhm.
those stories commingled all of a sudden.
I feel like I don't say this a lot, but I feel like this is one of those movies that I would really love to watch an unedited cut, like putting the deleted scenes back in, because a lot of that disjointedness that I do agree with you is there between those two groups and even within the groups themselves. Like there is not a lot of development at all with either group. In the family group, the dad ends up liking the son a little bit more. That is the growth there. And in the group with like the elites, it's like, I really don't think there's any change, to be honest with you. I think they're pretty like flat. But anyway, I think that I'm like, there's just no way. Like some of this has to be because there's some deleted like scenes somewhere that give us a little bit more. So I'm just saying, like, this is one of those movies where I would be very keen to watch. If they, release it with deleted scenes, I'd be like, I will watch it with all the deleted
You
scenes
can
and see
tell,
if it's if different.
that you can tell that Gareth Edwards did not have Tony Gilroy come in to rescue him.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
can
don't say
tell.
that. That's
Uh,
sensitive. That's a soft spot.
I know, I know. It was an easy joke
It
to
was
make.
easy joke. Hey,
I'm
it was
sorry.
good to
I'm
see
sorry.
him though, and all the BTS like stuff. I love
Yeah,
seeing that person, that guy behind a camera. I like it.
I'm just looking forward to the time when the NDA expires
I know we
and
get
he
all the
can
tea.
just let loose and
Yeah,
do the tea,
yeah.
because there's stuff there. There's stuff there.
There's some deleted scenes there.
Just like Rise of Skywalker. There's some stuff in there that,
Oh,
oh, it's gonna be so spicy. And I
oh,
mean, and Gil, and for all of you listening or watching, if you want to hear some of the tea that has been accidentally slipped, you should listen to the interviews with Tony Gilroy and Alan Tudyk from a
oh
couple of weeks ago,
yeah,
because they
yeah.
started drop. They're just slowly but surely starting to drop more information about what happened there on Rogue One. But anyway, I digress, because we're not talking about Rogue One. We're talking about a different Gareth Edwards movie, and it's the one that Tony Gilroy didn't fix, and it's a Rebirth. But yeah, I do feel that because of what happened with Rogue One, and then the creator not performing as the studio maybe would have wanted,
Yeah.
that they rest- not restrained him, but maybe didn't. And I haven't read anything about this, so I'm talking, talking out of my ass, but didn't give him
Right,
final
right,
cut
right.
or something.
Mhm.
And there was, I would assume, executive meddling in there, because as much as I like the
There
movie,
almost
yeah, it doesn't.
always is.
As much as I like the movie, it doesn't feel like it was the movie he wanted to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. I
Yep.
don't know.
Who knows? We'll find out though.
He knows.
One way or the other. He knows. He knows.
He knows. But you were talking about how the story would have worked better with just the dad and the girl, and we have to talk about the baby elephant in the room, because there was the younger daughter that had her own little Grogu, her own little baby Yoda.
Oh my god!
Because every franchise now needs to have their own baby Yoda. Thank you, Disney. Thank you, Lucasfilm, for ruining every franchise.
I think it's a Baby Yoda effect, but it also, to me, is a Minion effect.
Okay.
I'm
not sure that I agree, but sure.
I mean, obviously, Minions are like, I don't know. I just think like, ever since I think Minions walked so that Grogu could run.
Grogu obviously can't run very fast. He waddles.
Force jump, force leap.
Yes.
Minions walk so Grogu can force leap.
Yes.
And I think it's just sort of like, it's so, to me, belittling to little kids. Because what I think about when I watched Jurassic Park as a kid, I didn't need a gremlin to like latch onto and relate to and be like, oh,
the dinosaurs.
Yeah. And also like, it just was a scary movie with adults playing out some like adult survival things happening. And like, that was the movie. And kids watched it. I watched it. You watched it. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like catered to us catered to us at the age we were watching it. Because I think the second you start like catering, I mean, ultimately, this could be just sort of them wanting to sell a stuffed animal. But it just is an issue of mine. It's a pet peeve of mine. I should probably step off of this soapbox before I go any further on it.
No, I agree with you because it's egregious, because it definitely felt like, oh, we need the marketable dinosaur now.
Right.
And I blame, I mean, it might have happened regardless of The Mandalorian, but the fact that so many franchises have done the same thing, where it's just like, let's introduce our baby version of a character so that we can have our own, try to market our own thing just like they did, feels very disingenuous to me. But it's one of those things where, at least Grogu is part of the plot. At least he's doing something, and there's a arc with him and Mando and everything. Here, this is just like product placement.
Yeah.
This is the thing. She's going to get it. We're going to throw Twizzlers at it because we have to have a candy product placement with Mars.
I like all the candy product placements in this film. I stand by all of the product placement in this film.
We'll talk about it. And I was just like, nah, man. If the dino was integral to, if baby little, I think it was a Triceratops or a transmutated Triceratops. I don't know. We never got clarity on it. Not that it matters. But if the little baby Triceratops thing had done a Grogu moment, like in the Book of Boba Fett, when Grogu like calms down the Rancor and crap, and the Triceratops calms down penis Rex, D-Rex, whatever the hell.
D-Rex.
The
kind of looks like a Rancor, by the way. Speaking of Rancor.
Well, apparently that was intentional. I read a headline because I didn't bother to read the article. I didn't care that much.
Yeah.
But
you only had to pee. You didn't have to poop.
Exactly. Not. Sometimes things can just be an appetizer. You don't need the main course.
No.
And this was an app. This is a little app, just one.
Just a little.
I read it, and it's like, and apparently, it was an intentional reference, homage, as they say.
I like that homage.
Yeah,
it's a good homage.
It was good.
Can I say one thing about the Triceratops that, like, I think would have worked better? I mean, not that I think it would have worked better, but I think I wish that instead of it just being like, I saw someone, I mean, granted, they're like an online influencer person. It was like, and I'm not on social media, but there's a YouTube short that came up, and this person was invited to the Jurassic Rebirth premiere. And at the premiere, he had on his shoulder a little like magnet shoulder version of that Triceratops. And I'm like, okay. And then
they're going to have it at Universal now.
yes, I think that's where he bought it. And it's just crazy because then it's like, and like the whole clip, it was kind of a cute clip because ScarJo saw it and was like, oh my God, that's so fun. But I'm like, no, this is a problem. And I wish we got a scene that was kind of like, because to me, I had to make sense of why this baby dinosaur is there because it was really bothering me. And I was like, well, maybe it's like everyone's so worried about this kid, and so the kid needs something to worry about, and it's this like exploration of trauma for the like, young children who don't know how to process what they're going through. Again, maybe a generous take, but
very.
I think
I
what would
appreciate how
have
kind you are. We need more kindness in the
I
world.
think it's selfish. I think I selfishly just want to enjoy the movie, so I just run laps to make sure the movie makes more sense for me. But I would have loved to see a scene with like the sister talking to her dad and being like, why the hell does my little sister bring this baby dinosaur everywhere? Like, she should get rid of that thing. And he's like, it gives her something to worry about. We're all worried about her. And like, this kind of get like distracts her and makes her feel like she has some like sort of control and like leadership role in all of this instead of just being a victim to everything happening around her. But I didn't write the movie. I just think that would have helped.
See, I think something like that would have helped if when they stay together, Marsala Ali's character kind of serves at that as that bridge father to her.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, hey, you know, and kind of teaches her father to be like, hey, do what you're saying. But because he lost his child, he's kind of being that mentor and trying to strengthen their relationship as a father and daughter. And kind of he serves a more pivotal role there to help, you know, give his motivation more meaning. Because
Yeah.
the way that they show it in the movie, he has the throwaway line in the boat with, oh, by the way, spoiler alert for everybody watching this.
Are we really just giving a spoiler right now?
Well,
that cannot be where we give the spoiler.
It's been a week. I think we're safe.
Yeah, it's been a week since we started talking
and,
about spoilers, and now we're giving the warning.
Just in case.
Okay.
But they have that throwaway line when they're in the boat about to reach everything, and he's just like, "Oh, you know, my wife and I broke up because we kept seeing our son and each other," and it's like blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, cool. Backstory. This is great, but show don't tell.
Right.
And the movie, in terms of the characters, that's a lot of telling, not a lot of showing. The only big moment of showing, you know, is when Gen Z kid that I didn't like dives into water to save the girlfriend. Like that's I'm just like, okay, there we go. Like there's active character development to show how a character is, as opposed to telling us that, you know, he has a heart of gold. It's like, no, we're seeing it, even though he's still an annoying little, you know.
Hey, but that's just his age. He can't help it. He's like a 19-year-old.
And kudos, I mean, credit where credit's due. I don't know if I would have jumped into the water because you know, I can swim, but I don't do well with dinosaurs. I don't think. So I'll give credit on that one.
Okay.
So,
and we won't let your partner listen to this episode.
It's. I think she knows what's up.
She'd understand.
She knows what's up, and I wouldn't begrudge her either. I'm just like, it's like,
hey,
it's either one or both.
Yeah,
you know,
if we fall over, it's God's will. That's just
or corporate America. But you know, let's talk about that, because I think in this hyper politically, socially charged landscape that we're living in, things are dangerous to say, apparently, and there's lots of censorship that is trying to be done by the people that are claiming to be free speech absolutists, and we don't want to censor speech, and you've been canceling me, all these things, but now they're not letting anyone either exist or say anything. So it's an interesting time, I think, to now see how media responds to it. And I think that this film is an interesting mirror to start seeing what movies and TV shows might be like in this new era of caution, you know, because now people might not feel as comfortable saying the things that they want to say, because this film does say things, and all work of art says things inherently. You know, everything's political, whether you like it or not, because it's made by people, and people have feelings and thoughts and have, you know, opinions about how things should be, and art is always about what, you know, expressing yourself, and it will always do that. And this movie does do that, but in a very cautious way, I think is the word. And it comes in that scene when they're getting the bird egg. Yeah. Which I thought was hilarious, by the way, that they kind of did a Legend of Zelda elements, treasure hunt thing. It's just like, well, we gotta get the earth element, we gotta get the water element, and we gotta get the air element. You know, it's like, okay, let's go, let's do this. And maybe too many temples in this video game, but we're gonna do it. But they're getting the air MacGuffin, and they have the discussion, right, between like, hey, are we gonna give this to the corporate overlords that are gonna give us an ungodly amount of money for unethical pursuits, or are we gonna do this the grassroots way? Are we gonna go with Soren in New York City? Are we gonna go with Bernie in Vermont, or are we gonna go to Silicon Valley? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And ScarJo's just like, DJ in The Last Jedi, maybe.
First of all, the way
thought of that,
I can't tell if she was like playing it as sarcastic and it just didn't read, but not that maybe it was like when Jonathan Bailey's character introduced the concept of like of like science should be for everyone type of a thing, like
which comes out of nowhere.
Like, it comes out of nowhere, but also like I personally feel that Jurassic Park always does that. Like every Jurassic Park movie just like drops like random like things about like how this is bad for the environment, or this is like not justice, you know, this isn't like good, being a good human. So like it always does that, but like it was so odd because the response was like, oh, I never thought about that. And I was like, like either you're like operating on a level of sarcasm that I just can't comprehend, or this character fully has never thought about it, which is, there was like the most, I laughed out loud when she said that. I was like, oh my, what? Like, what do you mean you never thought about that? Like, there's no way you like just have never thought about that as a concept, not exclusive to this mission.
Maybe that was the writer's way of having her have an arc.
So she went from never thought about that to maybe I'd be down.
Yeah, it's a puddle.
It's ultimately why this movie is like a 3 for me, like out of 5. Like, or even, I don't know, like it just keeps it from being, I think, pretty solid. And that's, again, kind of a generous take, but I think it's like that is so hard to watch, especially because like it's coming out in the years since Mario's brother and certain things happening in the world. And I'm like,
took me a second, but I got there. Took me a second. Well done.
Hey, I don't know how they're scanning for conversations.
I don't know either. Online, I don't know either.
Anyway,
whatever. If they saw my Teams or Slack at work, I'm gone. They're gonna send me to El Salvador. Okay.
No. I won't let them.
Oh my god, I'm gone. Say goodbye. You get to be Mona of the Force.
Oh my god.
Anyway. Woo.
Anyways, so like I'm just
light
like
some incense. Oh my god.
I kind of was thinking that when I kind of started putting together that was the movie was going to be tackling sort of like medicine and treatment and availability of resources for one's health. I was like, oh, this is coming out again, the time that it's coming out, and they're really going to say something, because that is such, everyone talks about that still. And the fact that they didn't just commit was such a disappointment. And not because I want to push my own politics onto it. It's just more like I will respect a project that really takes risks. And I think narratively, this movie took no risks. Like all the good guys survived. There was nothing that sad that happened. It was all very like middle of the road and safe. Do you know what I mean? And I think that it needed to take some bigger risks, and mainly politically, because the ending on the maybe is only semi-excusable if they pay that off in a sequel. If they don't, I will not watch the sequel. Like that is a crazy way to end the whole movie. That's arguably its main thesis, and they do not have a conclusion with it.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, but at least I will give them credit for saying it outright. You know, it's one of those. It's interesting because on the one hand, you don't. I mean, ScarJo kind of ruins the momentum of the moment in the conversation and the ethics, right, of what Slutty Glasses is saying.
Yeah.
But at least he says it, right? He says the thing point blank about what the theme is, and I'm just like, hey, at least you committed to putting it out there, even though you're not.
I get what you're saying.
You're not doing the heavy lifting that the first Jurassic Park movie did by showing Hammond and the thing, and then having Jeff Goldblum talk about the ethics of what's happening, and everyone being like, "Oh, maybe this is not a good idea."
And it's like the
destruction of all those
monologue. Yeah,
it's great, and I mean, and I still like it more than Jurassic World because because I really like Jurassic World, but the reason that I think that Rebirth works better than Jurassic World in a lot of ways is that it makes the conflict much more personal and you care about it a lot more. So in a way, you're listening to what he has to say in a way that you don't listen to what Chris Pratt has to say because he's so busy being blue, and like doing and riding a motorcycle and doing things.
The hand. If you guys are listening to the audio of this, you have to go to YouTube right now. That was so funny. The blue with the hand.
Yeah,
that is so funny.
And the little kids, as much as I hate the kid in Rebirth, at least I cared about him, because we went on a journey with him. And as much as I don't like him, at least I don't like him because I cared about him, in a way, as opposed to the kids in Jurassic World. And I was like, why do I care about you? You're there.
I know.
You're Bryce Dallas Howard, director of Mandalorian, by the way. Some of the episodes, not all of it. More Star Wars connections, baby. And they're her niece, their nephews. Who cares? Who cares? Right. So when they're in the glass ball, as cool as that sequence is, I felt less for them than I did for the girl in the raft in the river.
Ooh.
So I think in that sense, Jurassic World Rebirth is a lot more successful because it does go back to that intimate, personal and kind of scary dynamic where it's just like you feel everything that every character's going through, despite all the characters being thin as paper. I mean, it's tatami. It's
surviving. They all survived impossible odds.
That doesn't bother me. Everyone survived except Sam Jackson. Everyone survived in Jurassic Park.
Well, I just think,
and he wasn't a main cast, so
I just think that there's a reality in which the character that answers maybe on if we should make vital information like DNA. Yeah. Like, does he deserve to live? Like, if we're killing, you
would kill ScarJo?
I mean, I would never kill ScarJo. I love ScarJo.
The dinosaurs would.
And I do want her and Jonathan Bailey to carry this trilogy, whatever, if it is that. I love them together. I think that they have a great chemistry and everything. But I'm also a little bit like, listen, if we're killing off like the arms guy who was like this, like their like security detail on the boat because he's like shooting dinosaurs and I guess like guns and dinosaurs bad, dinosaur wins. And then the suit guy who's like just a sellout and a terrible person. Obviously he's dead. But then it's like, we can't really live in this middle ground. I get that it's 2025, but at the end of the day, these movies thrive when it really, to me, is like, be a good fucking person and you won't get eaten by a dinosaur. Be a bad person or an ambiguous person and get eaten by a dinosaur. And ScarJo, ambiguous. That was ambiguous.
Lose a limb, at least.
You lose a limb, 100%. Or maybe maybe I don't wish this on ScarJo, but maybe her character gets a heart disease issue and needs the fucking DNA. And then she's like, I can't believe I got my shit rocked on the island and that didn't wake me up to what we need as a society. But now that I have this heart disease and I don't have access to the medication, we got to go public with it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. That is tomato for me. It's
the only problem that I would have with that plot twist is that then it doesn't make it altruistic because it's not really about doing it because you believe in it. It's because you need it. So it's just kind of like, well, now I need it. So
that's
fine.
That's
which I think it's like, it's like Christians just like, oh, well, God tells me to love you, so I will love you because God tells me to, instead of me, not because I want to do a good thing and like be a good person. It's like, no, God tells me, so I will. Which doesn't make you a good person. But anyway, we're not going to that conversation today.
Not today.
But You know, and to that point, I think something that might have helped the movie, and it would also help set up more sequels, right? It's that whole, and when we learned this in Indiana Jones, right? It's and because this movie borrows heavily from Indiana Jones with the whole, treasure seeking sequences and
Oh yeah.
everything, especially when they're like in a temple in the middle of the. It's
Oh
like,
my
oh,
god! And the eggs themselves like looked like the idol. Like I'm like,
yeah.
this is giving.
I'm just like, maybe they shouldn't have gotten all the eggs. Maybe they should have
Mhm.
lost one maybe at the end and be like, "Oh, no, we have to go back.
Right, right.
Gotta go back to the future," And leave it like that where they don't get what they want, but they find what they need, type of thing.
Yeah.
And the movie just ends with, "Oh, everyone's happy," and Scar just says maybe, and cut to black or fade to black. I don't know how the movie ends, but
Was there a post-credit scene?
I don't care.
I'm
I
Googling
didn't I
this
didn't
on
Google.
air. I'm on
I
air.
didn't Google. Like, it was over, and I was like, "That was fun, let's leave." And if it's available, either we'll talk about it on the podcast or I will YouTube it later.
I'm Googling right now. It says no.
Ah, dang. Whew, we did it. No exclusive, ladies and gentlemen.
No exclusive. I mean,
No
I'm pretty sure
exclusive.
everyone listening was probably like, no. They
Yeah,
probably already
they
knew.
were like, you didn't have to give
They
a
stayed.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Find what you need. Don't get what you want. And but at least a movie, and I think that's a good way to kind of wrap up a review of this movie. The movie gave me what I wanted, but it
Oh,
failed to give me what I needed.
I could not have said that better myself. I I am 10 toes down on that review. I agree.
Thank you.
I
I
got
wasn't
everything I
expecting.
wanted.
I wasn't expecting to go that way. That was thanks to you. You
Hey,
teed it up. You
no,
were like,
no, no. You're channeling something right now, Goose.
that's
You're
what they called
channeling
in,
something.
in sports, I believe. I'm not an expert on
Mm,
sports, but in
mm,
sports, I believe they call it an assist.
mm,
One of the ball
mm-hmm.
sports. I don't know
Or in
which
Little
one.
League, they call it T-ball. And you just
Oh,
got the baseball right there on the tee.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Uh,
T-Rex on the T-Rex.
oh,
Hey.
full circle. Uh, but let's look into the future because you've been talking
Okay.
about a potential, right? This is now we saw the movie on July the 4th. Now it's in the past. Now we got to look to the future, right? Because we are people that are clearly in a society, we cannot be satisfied with the things that have been given to us. We have to immediately look towards the next thing, and
Insatiable.
assuming that this film is successful, which I think it has been. I think it's been doing good numbers.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how Superman disrupts it. But if they greenlight a sequel to Rebirth, which what will they call it? Jurassic World Rebirth 2 or Jurassic, I don't know. They're gonna have to figure out like this whole naming convention.
Rebirth, life, and death.
I don't know. We'll
Imagine
see.
Jurassic
We'll see.
World Death. Woo! Woo,
I
that
might
would go
I might
hard.
I might see that one.
Yeah.
And well, besides rework, we're gonna have to workshop a little bit some of the potential titles for some Rebirth sequels, but I do like that. But what would you like to see then in the future? Because we can't keep doing the same thing, that
I
Lost World did and then Jurassic World did, where we bring the dinos back into the city. It's just like dinos in New York. We can't keep doing that. So what would you like to see?
I want dinosaurs to evolve, and I want them to evolve more intelligently this time around. And I want Dino's revenge. I wanted to see
You
them.
wanted to talk? You want them to talk?
Maybe it's because I grew up watching that. What's that movie with the dinosaurs? And if they eat a Cheerio, they go crazy. It's an animated movie.
I thought you were talking about Gremlins all of a sudden.
It's
Cheerios
like Gremlins, but
with dinos.
hey, I gotta Google
It's
it
not.
for
It's
the
not. It's not the
people.
Land Before. It's not the Land Before Time.
Oh no, I love the Land Before Time. Dinosaur movie with Cheerios that make them go crazy. Hmm. We're Back. It's called We're Back, a dinosaur story. and a time-traveling scientist brings dinosaurs to present day and feeds them a special cereal called brain grain. This increases their intelligence and allows them to talk. The dinosaurs are later exposed to the villain's brain drain pills, which reverse the effect. So they go from being like super nice and like talkative to like this villain comes through and like makes them evil again, and then they go crazy. It's really crazy. I'm not looking for that, but I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something like that.
Okay.
Jurassic World Death, the third film of my trilogy, is going to be all these dinosaurs
talking.
Revenge of the Dinosaur. I mean, I want dinosaurs just making a mess of it all. And then the middle movie can be something about like ScarJo, like maybe still being on the fence about
maybe
universal
saying
healthcare.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that movie, she goes, "I've decided we should make universal healthcare later."
Yeah, not
now.
Yeah. Jurassic World Rebirth, maybe.
Yeah. And that's why the dinos take revenge. What about you, Goose?
Well, now my take is gonna suck because I was gonna be all serious. I was gonna be all serious now because it's one of those things where do you go when the franchise has already gone everywhere, right? And I think that, at least for me, one of the things that was interesting in the setup of this one was, the dinosaurs live in the equator now, all over the world, all over the world. They're all over the world, all over, not only in the USA and
the Dino Ring
and the Dino Islands that I forgot, the Isla Nublar and Sonar, I think was the other one. Whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, let's go to some other ecosystem. Let's go to, I don't know. Let's go to the Middle East. Let's go to
Antarctica,
Asia, or
like
some. Well, they're dead there. They're dead there.
You don't know. Why would they be dead? Why would they be dead?
I don't know.
There has to be some,
because
like,
the movie set up that they're dead. But sure.
No,
ice dinos.
Ice dinos.
We got ice dragon zombie in Game of Thrones. Why not ice dinos? Hey, who cares?
Not made of ice, but like thrives in ice.
Why not? Let's do something different, right?
That's what I'm saying. Let them talk. Maybe the dinosaurs start lobbying for universal health care.
They did. I mean, if you think about it, they have gotten it. That's how they came to be to begin with. Although now they're off, with all the cuts, they're off Dino Medicaid. They're off. Yeah. So they just want to get back on the plan. Anyway, we digress. It'll now just be a waiting game till an announcement. Jurassic World Rebirth, Death, and Rebirth Again sequel.
Rebirth, Death, Resurrection. Rebirth, Death, Resurrection.
Dino Jesus. It's there for all the Christians, for all the Christians. Yeah. We know you love your Jesus movies, Yeah. Dino Jesus. Everyone loves. Well,
also known as Jesus. Wait, Cretaceous. What's the word you said? Cretaceous Christ. I don't know, Goose, but I think we're cooking. As the kids say.
We're cooking or we're canceled. One of the two. Chase, this has been, as expected, as always, a beautiful, wonderful conversation about something than Star Wars, which is a sigh of relief. Before we sign off, what are you looking forward to? We talked about Superman a little bit, but is there any other thing that you're looking towards the future that you're like, oh man, that's something that I'm really excited for now that Jurassic World Rebirth really hit the spot? What's the next?
I'm so happy you brought this up. I was trying to think because I'm not a big movie person right now, but I'm glad you brought this up because there is one thing I'm very much looking forward to, and that is next week's premiere of season 3 of Strange New Worlds. And I cannot wait because I'm so thrilled to announce this today here on Triad that Gustavo is going to watch his first Star Trek, and it's going to be Strange New
Star
Worlds.
Trek. Well,
new.
Because I've seen, I've seen The Next Generation back in the day with my dad a little bit. Saw some of the original Picard films.
Okay, this is Gustavo's grand re-entry into Star Trek.
Into the Paramount Plus verse.
And I'm a big Strange New Worlds person. I know it's a little crazy to be talking about Star Trek on a Star Wars
No. There's
podcast,
still the Star Wars connection because John Jackson Miller wrote one of the Strange New Worlds books, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And also, there's another Star Wars author who wrote one book. But I'm very excited for that. I love that show, and I can't wait for Goose to watch it. What about you, Goose? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, what am I looking forward to? Well, I'm looking forward to doing this assignment. It's going to be interesting, and I'm going to feel what Nani felt when I, quote unquote, forced her to watch the Clone Wars. And I haven't seen it, not because I'm against it. It's just that never got around to it.
Yeah.
But I have heard excellent things from not just you, but a lot of our peers that have watched the show. Have yet to hear negative things about it, so I'm not apprehensive.
Ooh.
So we'll see. Well, I have to finish Severance. That's one thing that I've been taking so long to finish. Not because it's bad, it's just that, my mind is not in a place to consume a lot of new things because I need the comfort of the familiar, just because the world is a dumpster fire. So many new horrible things that we're watching that I need some old comforting things. But I am excited as someone who's not, and we talked about it a little bit at the beginning, as someone who is not a fan of Superman as a whole, as a superhero. I am excited for this new Superman. It kind of feels like the superhero we need, not the one we want, the one we need right now.
Yeah. And James Gunn, I'm a fan. The way that man has been talking in the press lately about fan entitlement over like sequels and about corporate interference with narrative and scripts, I'm like, he should keep talking. Maybe he should keep talking. It's pretty good stuff. So I'm excited to see what he does.
And the reviews that I've read from people that have seen the film about the themes in it, I'm just like, hey, good.
Give me a hint. What are one of the themes?
About occupations in foreign countries.
Very
relevant right now.
Yeah.
About kindness, which apparently kindness is being woke. Immigration, all these things that I'm just like, these are normal. It's one of those things where I feel like, to make a Superman reference, I feel like we're a Bizarro, we're in this strange new world where kindness is all of a sudden like like 30. If you had asked me 30 years ago, saying that, hey, immigrants are good for this country, or being nice to someone else that's different than you, is if you had asked me, saying those things would have made me some radical.
That's sad.
I'd be like, no, this is just normal things that everyone believes in. So it's very strange to now be in 2025 and have a movie that is about, justice. It's right there. It's justice and truth, and people are calling that now woke. It's just like, it's been there since the very beginning. But anyway, I digress because I haven't seen the movie, so I'm talking about a film that I haven't seen. But again, not excited, not a fan of Superman, but hopeful now, and I think that's a feeling that we need a lot of right now. Hope.
Hey, and you know what's going to pair well with that? Strange New Worlds, because Star Trek always leaves me feeling very hopeful about humanity.
It's true. That's a good way to end. Chase, thank you so much.
You're like, Chase, where can the people find you?
I was going to ask, but then
you can't.
We don't want to put your address out there, because that would be too far.
Yeah, maybe.
Depends on.
Maybe.
It's fine. No,
I was doing my Scarlett Johansson impression.
But you can find Chase at Trial of the Force.
Period.
And you can find Trial of the Force wherever podcasts can be found. Just type Trial of the Force, and you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky. We're not going to name some other sites because we don't support them. So just find us on those, and you'll be able to hear and watch our incoherent, maybe coherent ramblings on Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Star Wars in the future, Star Trek, and it'll be wonderful. And like I said at the beginning, we will get to try it together when scheduling permits. So stay tuned for more shenanigans with me, Nani, and Chase as we continue to move Trial of the Force forward in this very trepidatious future, but hopefully we can be like a voice of hope and joy for some people. But thanks again, Chase.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone that is listening. We appreciate you. We love you. And may the force be with you.